Hello, welcome to November 27th, 2022. My name is Kurt, and this is my daily Good Life meditation video. This is an exercise that I perform every day shortly after waking up, although today it's a little later than usual. It's 5:09 a.m. I'm running a bit behind. I slept in a bit. I do this exercise to remember my life objectives and principles, and to see how I did applying these to the challenges and opportunities yesterday, and to plan for today. Oh, and good morning, Parker. First, last night and yesterday, I slept very well. Was in bed right after 9, lights out. The alarm went off at 4 a.m. and I turned it off, and I woke up maybe 40 minutes later, and here I am. So I'm running, everything is behind schedule right now. I'm surprised that the dogs are letting me alone. There's a bit of a chill in the air. Maybe that's the reason they're happy to be warm. Ollie's under the blanket here, and Rudy's there in his comfy crate with all his blankets. So, how did yesterday go? Well, I talked about sleeping. That went well, which means I feel pretty good right now. I feel pretty rested, although it's a Sunday. The Sunday at the end of a 4-day weekend, which is always challenging. It's hard to keep work off the mind. Yumiko too. She was up and working on actually doing her job last night when I went to bed at 9 p.m. She had her computer started and was working, getting ahead of it, so she didn't have to think about it today. Boy, I know that feeling, and I know that action too. Yesterday, otherwise, was not a very challenging day. I simply didn't even have chores. We did some shopping. Yumiko and I had some things to complete. And then after that, I ran some errands. I guess I did do some shopping for errands. I ran to get dog food. I did some shopping for some Christmas shopping. And I went to the beach twice. I did my book reading in the morning. I was very pleased with how that came out. Quality was amazingly good for a live stream from the beach where I had only 2 bars. That bodes well. I was especially pleased with the quality of the microphone. I used this very good quality Rode mic, and then I have the Rode wireless lapel set up, and I brought that to the beach. And that worked really well as well. The voice picked up really well with good background sound of the waves. I think it makes for a nice book reading. And I did post the result of that in the LinkedIn fiction writers group that I follow, or that I'm a member of. It's a really good forum to be talking to people about writing. No real challenges otherwise. Oh, and then the thing the day before with the family, where I kind of was a sad sack at sushi. I sent an apology early in the morning to Emily and Chris and Yumiko, letting them know sorry about being such a, out of it during that dinner. Chris sent me a nice response. That was nice of him. Okay, other than that, that's it. Let's do the good life. I'm going to go a little bit fast this morning because these dogs, they're ready for their, whaty breakfast and walking. Don't say those words just yet. Okay, my 7 objectives are as follows. Number 1 is to always be ready to die, just to have everything in a settled state as close as I can, so that if I die, I'm ready to go. 2 is to make good and effective use of my time, to not waste my days. 3 is to develop and maintain good and sound life principles, so that I am not spending my days in less than optimal, or that's not coming out right, so that I spend my days in a more optimized fashion that prepares me to be able to die and be ready to die, because I've spent my days well. 4 is to cultivate good emotional reactions, so that I'm reacting well to challenging circumstances. It's easier to react well to non-challenging situations. Don't have to worry about that one so much. 5 is to perform good actions, just to do good things. Like I've started taking a bag with me to the beach, a plastic bag, and then I use that plastic bag to pick up pieces of plastic from the sand after I'm done with my swim. So doing a little bit of a good deed every day. Number 6 is to recognize my true limits and my true opportunities, so that I'm working within range of what I can actually do and taking actions that actually have more effect, improved effect on the world, and not wasting my time on things that are beyond my reach, using apathy towards the things to which indifference belongs. And then finally, to do just one thing at a time, and do that thing slowly and deliberately and carefully, to not multitask. Those are my 7 objectives. My 32, there you go, principles are as follows. The first of these is the principle of war, fighting against things that I already believe are true and significant things that others want me to believe are true or that I encounter in the world. I don't want to bring things on easily or without good due cause. 2 is the principle of reason. And the sub-principles of honesty, objectivity, honesty, slowly, Kurt, objectivity, doubt, and humiliation. I want to be honest with myself about what I'm thinking about and seeing, deliberating on, observing, objective, looking at it clearly, skeptical, doubting at all times, within reason. And then I want to be ready to enjoy being humiliated when I discover that I'm wrong. Although it really isn't humiliation when you approach it that way. It becomes more of a gratitude and relief, right? Thank goodness I'm relieved of being in error, at least at that point. And even that's tentatively held. Okay, next is the homunculus and the anchor hold. Those are 2 principles that go together. The homunculus is my reminder that I don't have a soul, but I do have a consciousness. And the anchor hold is my further reminder that my consciousness is trapped within my skull, seemingly within my nervous system, and can't escape my death and will go down with my ship. Next is the principle of purpose, and the 3 sub-principles of biology, virtue, and mission. My 3 purposes in life are, with biology, a word to simply mean the biological mandate that I feel to find a mate, to reproduce, to raise my child, to protect my child, and to get her into adulthood. That's my first purpose, my main purpose, my driving purpose, maybe the only objective purpose of life that I was saddled with upon my birth, upon my conception, actually. The second purpose is the purpose to be a virtuous human being, where virtue is nothing more than pursuing the objective improvement of the well-being of thinking creatures, namely making thinking things happier and less sad. Number 3 is the pursuit of whatever personal mission that I choose for life. And mine is the sharing of the Good Life Creed via my book, Going Alone, available on Amazon. Or you can pick it up if you go to your local bookstore. You can ask for a copy and they'll order it and have it on their shelves, or at least one copy on their shelf for you. You can also buy it from my website. I re-enabled that, so I'm starting to ship again. Well, I don't know that I'm quite geared up for it just yet. I'll make it happen. Next is the atomic principle. Everything in the universe is made of atoms and molecules, compounds, animated with energy, including us. And these things tend to change. And my structure will change soon as I begin to wear out and die. Then comes the principle of nature. Everything has some particular nature, including each of us. And it's good to recognize what the nature of things is so we can deal with it according to the way that they really are. And then move on. Move on. I guess so. I had a back-end thought in my mind that prompted that move on. I was thinking about when, as adults, we finish raising our kids and we have to move on with our own life, and it came out. It's interesting how you can entertain two thoughts at once. I was talking about with a good life while a second thought was in the background. Multitasking, dang it. Okay. Oh, I guess that's part of my nature. I'm trying to slow it down, though. Well, I guess there's some parts of it that's just normal. Maybe even quite useful. Next comes the pirate ride, my suggestion that free will is an illusion. And then maturity, the principle of maturity, and the sub-principles of wisdom, fortitude, and integrity. Maturity is that state where we can wisely remember our past successes and failures and have the fortitude to do better, resulting in a life where our end results and actions are in better alignment with our values. That's the integrity part. Oh, excuse me. And then comes the social principle. We humans need each other. We need our pets too, it seems, and they need us. And then the sub-principles there are diplomacy, justice, conspiracy. We work together as diplomats to reach agreements with one another towards a more just and social state. And then we link arms and conspire together to make that happen. That's the social principle with the bits and pieces of it. It's also a siren call. Not a siren call, that's a bad way to describe it, because sirens lead you to death. It's also a suggestion that we avoid spending too much time alone. Kind of funny thing for a guy who wrote a book called Going Alone to say. Because that leads to a less than social life, and we need to live a social life, even if we're introverts. Next comes public speaking. It's good to cultivate a good ability to communicate and to hear what other people are saying, to understand. The sub-principles there are best words. Try to strive to use the best words for the message we're trying to communicate, either written or spoken. Eloquence. Eloquence comes with practice. Prudence. Prudence is our ability to filter what we're saying and writing through our values, so that what we're saying is sound in that regard, in better alignment with what we believe. I hold to be true. Oh boy, my mind just keeps filtering back to memories. Quit that. I've got to finish this. I'm tired. I don't know why I'm tired. I got a good night's sleep. And then lastly, for these public speaking is to rumor and gossip. Bad things to do. Don't do those. Now comes the fiber. Temperance. Life will not go well. The feast of the horror show. That which must be born, and the feast of offal. Taken together. This is simply a suggestion that we should exercise self-control, to expect life to have difficulties every day, to expect horror in our lives and in the lives of others, those we love, those that are strangers. Horror comes to all. And to be able to be ready to bear all these things to the best of our ability, and to not Spread that upset to others. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good summary of that. My goodness, I'm suddenly so tired. Okay, let's get through this. Kurt, you can do this. It's not that hard. Okay. Next comes distraction and agency in the great indifference. We spend our lives distracting ourselves with our work and our free time and our home and our family and our politics and our sports and our religion and God. So that we do this so that we don't have to see that the apparent fact that God does not exist, that we are alone, and we're responsible to manage all this on our own. The best we can do is form relationships, families, and alliances in society. So I choose not to distract myself, or at least not a lot. At least I take breaks from the distraction is what I do, so that I can witness the empty, go alone. Although I haven't done it for a while. Okay, now comes a principle called the best seat in the house. To be all right with who I am, where I am, and what I'm doing right here, right now. All the while striving for better. Next comes a set of 4 principles. The restless man, the path of wildness, the great life adventure, and the risk of avoiding risk. Taken together, these suggest that from an early age we're going to want something out of the life, some adventure. That if we give ourselves that, if we step upon the path of wildness, which is the route to that adventure, then we can wind up with one or more great life adventures, which become kind of a centerpiece for our life, our story. They form our character. And then that will assuage the deep risk later in life of not having done that and having to live with that regret into our old age, which will haunt us. This only applies to those that are so drawn. Some people don't seem to be, although I doubt that there's many. I think it's part and parcel of what we are. Next comes sin and damnation. There are 8 sins in my worldview related to believing things that are untrue, being untrue ourselves, and being a rumor spreader or a gossip. I recommend not doing any of those. And the 8 explicitly are falsity, credulity, faith, superstition, dogma, authority, rumor, and gossip. Engaging in any of those, and we wind up sinning and damning ourselves in the here and now. Sin and damnation. Next comes complete oblivion, the next principle. With this suggestion, I'm simply saying that after death, if we have no soul and there is no God and no heaven or hell or afterlife or forever, then when we're dead, that's it. We won't have any happy reunion with the ones we left behind when we died or that went before us. We won't have a chance to reconcile any differences, and there won't be any justice after we're dead, because there's no justice giver, and we won't be around either. Complete oblivion. Next comes the bullseye aim, a reminder that we shoot for the mark we usually miss. The uphill climb, a reminder to strive hard every day to get higher up that mountain of life. Arena and utility, a reminder to keep these principles handy at all times to use in the arena of life. And then nothing is enough, a suggestion towards much less. And then finally, the principle of fun, a reminder to strive to have a good time, a wholesome good time, healthy good time, virtuous good time in the here and now. And also to remember the good times from the past and to plan for the good times to come. I need to work on that planning part. I tend to not do it. I tend to just live it day by day. It'd be good if I could plan it a little better. Well, that's it. I got through it. I'm tired. Let's plan for the day. I'll finish this, upload this, read the Bible, feed the dogs, walk the dogs, and then have a fun day with my wife. We're going to take our dogs to the dog beach today. And I think I'm even going to let them off the leash and let them run around. That should be interesting. I got to bring be ready to run and chase after all as he runs. But he's chipped. But at least there's no way for them to get up to the highway like at that other beach. And so that should be fun. I'll have a really good day with my wife. I'm going to enjoy this day. Yumiko and I will get our ice cream today again, this weekend. Thanks for joining me. Be safe, but not too safe.